Hey, it's Ghost with Combat Sports Supply. Today we're going to be going over the LevAR 15 by G&G. So what is the LevAR 15? Well, it's a lever action AR platform. This is specifically the 15-inch variant, hence 15. They make a 7-inch as well. They'll be coming out shortly. So when I say lever action AR, what do I mean? Well, it is a lever action lower on an AR upper, so it'll run Stanag mags and everything else, which makes people super excited about it, and it actually is kind of blown up recently. Real quick thank you to G&G. This is the prototype. This isn't even the release version. They sent it to us to do a review on it. Thank you very much. All right, let's see what's in the box. Starting out, we have the G&G's catalog. We'll have the manual. It is a QR code, so you will have to link to that. You get the rifle itself, a replacement full metal muzzle brake, and then this would usually come with this cheek rest and the bullets, the fake bullets in it. All right, let's go over what this thing is from your shoulder rest all the way to your muzzle brake. All right, starting with the back of the gun. You do have a rubberized shoulder plate. It is a somewhat skeletonized stock with a cheek rest with some fake bullets in it that look really good. This is all detachable. It is mounted to a Picatinny rail. Onto the other side here, you've got these two attachment points. There are obviously 5 holes here, so you can shift this back and forth as needed. I believe it does have extra screw points on the plate on the back here to raise it up and down if necessary. And then you've got your 2 Allen keys to remove this rear stock. Now this is a green gas rifle, so you will have to put gas in it. There's your fill ports in the bottom of the pistol grip. So that makes it pretty easy, and even if you take the stock off, it's still there. Moving forward, we have the grip and the lever itself. It is actually a very large lever. I can fit my entire hand in it. And it's pretty beefy and works really well. I haven't had any issues running this thing so far, testing it out. We have our hammer. Now, like most pistols, this is a functional hammer. That little nub there is actually what pushes the gas out, so this smacking forward is what sets it off. As a brief aside on this hammer unit, the big thing about that being the case where it actually hits home and pushes forward, if you push on this, you will lose all the gas in the rifle. We have the mag release extension, which is a big scissor mount that allows you to push the mag from either the very back or the front. If you don't like having this on there, it is just in a scissor extension, so you can take these 4 screws out, and it's solid underneath. You'll have the screw holes, but that's all right. And then it's just a standard M4 mag release. Now, the LevAR does come with a 35-round mid-cap. I don't know how they fit 35 rounds in this thing, but I'm kind of impressed. It does have the full follower, so it will actually spit out every BB in it. This thing can take Stanag mags. I was not kidding. It's a standard M4 magwell. Now, moving on to the rest of the gun, this is going to look a lot more familiar because it's a standard V2 upper. You've got your rear sight block. It does have your M-bus sights, but it also has some fiber sights, front and rear, so you can run them with it down. This is a version 2 upper. Doesn't have a charging handle. They have a cap in the back to cover that up, so this is apparently compatible with any other version 2 upper out there. We've tested a few of them, but generally take the charging handle out and put this in. Internal lever assembly itself, which functions with a standard V2 upper. There's some neat stuff in there that we'll go over in just a sec. And moving to the internals, you'll notice there seems to be a bullet in there. It is a fake bullet that actually is the nozzle assembly. So if you don't rack this all the way, it won't load a BB. That actually pushes forward. It has a standard G&G rotary hop, which is very good, so it's very precise, very good tuning. For those of you worried about possibly mounting other things to this, like we did to test it, there is a notch in here to kick open all of your dust covers. It does have an aluminum M-lock rail on it, Picatinny mounts up front, and QD sling points in the back. Like every gun in the United States, it will have the orange tip out of the box. It does come with the metal one if you are allowed to replace it where you live. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this extension is for. I'm assuming it's to beef up the magwell, make it a little stronger, give it a little front support. But it does make switching rail systems out a little wonky if you don't know what you're doing. So what I mean by it makes the rail system wonky. See how this one doesn't have any lower obstruction on it, this one will fit just fine on there if you wanted to swap it out for a different rail. This one, because it has that big notched section where it binds down, does not actually fit on it. Now, of course, I was just showing you two of the G&G ARP9s to show you rail compatibility. I have tried a couple of other ones. They do work. It just depends on that lower aspect of it as to whether or not they fit. Well, how does it perform? First major thing to go over. It's a green gas rifle. Everybody's going to be concerned about how much green gas it holds. Well, when we got a proper fill on it, it fired at least 140 times at relatively consistent velocities without any issues at all. The next major thing would be, how fast is it shooting? According to the spec sheet they gave us with this prototype version, it was shooting 360 FPS out of the box. I'm assuming they did not have the hop set or anything in it, because when we tested it with twos, just like they do, it was shooting 390-ish. That's about 1.4 joules. Now again, that was with 0.20 BBs. We also tested this with 0.3s, and the results were somewhat surprising. So when we tested this with threes, it was actually at about closer to what they said at 360 FPS, but because of that weight increase, it was actually about 1.8 joules. One brief aside about all of that. This is a green gas rifle. There's going to be some variance. Our first shot with threes was, when we were shooting it with threes, our first couple of shots were actually up at 2 joules or right around 400 FPS. And then it stabilized out for a while, and then it slowly tapered off towards the end. Weather permitting, in the colder seasons, for those of us that live up north, like I do, you can put red gas in this and it will function as long as it's cold enough out that you're not going to blow the gun up. So, might be my personal opinion, but my final take on this is it's a really cool platform. It's very modular, it's very functional. It holds a lot more gas than I expected. I do love the way it feels and the way it looks. It's really comfortable to hold. It's got just enough weight in it, and it's super easy to aim. So we've got our wonderfully functional lever here. I do love running that thing. It is nice and easy to use. It's honestly a really cool gun. It's really modular. I kind of dig it. The one issue I have with it is the scissored mag release here, because when I'm resting my finger above the trigger, my finger sits straight on it and I tend to bump the mag out. So I would probably take this off. As a final thought, it's really cool because depending on how you kit this out, you could do Western, modern, you name it. So it's really versatile.
Don't be a fool!